Well, any moment now, we do expect Vice President Harris to touch down in Saginaw, Michigan. She is back in that state to highlight the Biden administration's efforts to bring back manufacturing jobs and support for unions. She had 3 campaign events scheduled across the state today, and with just over a week until the election, polling in the swing states, including in Michigan, shows that the race is deadlocked. Let's bring in NewsNation's Brooke Schaefer, who continues our coverage there in Ann Arbor. So, Brooke, that's where the vice president will hold her final Michigan event of the day.
Yeah, and voters here in Michigan, Nichole, have told us that the economy, jobs, those are major motivators for them next week. So that will be the name of the game for the Harris campaign. Multiple stops in Michigan today, wrapping up with another star-studded rally here in Ann Arbor. The name of the game for them, the key focus will be manufacturing. The Harris campaign telling us that the vice president is set to make a stop at a company that will create 1,300 manufacturing jobs, even more construction jobs, as she looks to really focus her support, or focus rather, on her support for Michigan manufacturing and American workers. The vice president speaking with the press on the tarmac about an hour ago.
They care about American manufacturing. I'm going to be talking about that again. My plan includes what we will do to continue to invest in American-based industries, American manufacturing, and American workers. That is how we are going to remain strong and globally competitive and win the competition for the 21st century with China and anybody else.
All right, Michigan, one of those critical blue wall states for Democrats, a state they hope propels Harris to the White House, but where polling is still razor thin. A toss-up here in Michigan. And this is one of those states that analysts say Harris can't really afford to lose. If she loses Michigan, she still mathematically can make a play at the White House. But the question is what a loss in Michigan could mean for other key battleground states like Pennsylvania and Michigan. Or Wisconsin, I should say. Nichole?
Well, Brooke, we know that Harris is placing a lot of stake there in Michigan. She was there Saturday with the former First Lady Michelle Obama trying to rally suburban women. But there is another group she's still courting.
Yeah, as we head into this final week here, Nichole, there is a key demographic here in Michigan that really could sway things next week. Keep in mind, Michigan has a large Arab population, and right now some recent polling shows that Harris is trailing behind former President Trump with that voting bloc. Now, there are some Arab Muslim voters who have been, unimpressed with the Biden administration's response to the war in Gaza. In Philly this weekend, pro-Palestinian demonstrators interrupted a Harris campaign speech. The vice president took a moment to address those demonstrators, saying it was time to end the war and bring the hostages home, as the former president, for his part, has capitalized on this, really pursuing that demographic that Republicans have largely not bothered to court. And again, that really could make all of the difference in this state that right now is deadlocked. Nichole?
All right, Brooke Schaefer, live for us there in Ann Arbor. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.